get to the punching already.
What's up, guys? This is Ronalo back with the 5th installment, I believe, of Balrog's Boxer Basics. So today we're gonna cover something that I sort of half covered before in the combos video. I'm gonna go more in depth on conversions, conversions and confirms. They kind of both mean the same thing. The only thing is, like, a confirm is just when you hit somebody. I'm gonna take the guard off here. A confirm is basically when you hit somebody, and then you're able to confirm into it from there. And a conversion is basically going a little step further, and from that confirm, like, so this is a confirm. From that confirm, converting it into something, so you can do more damage. So if you ever see, like, you know, in tournaments, they're like, oh, that guy's conversions are super good. Well, that's because he got, like, you know, something like over here, and then out of nowhere he's just going into all this crazy stuff off of one little hit, you know. So that's something that's really important to have. Balrog's conversion potential is very good. As I kind of went into with the combo video, like, Balrog's got a lot of stuff that he can combo with, and a lot of stuff that he can work with, giving you a lot of options for mix-ups and stuff. So basically what we're going to do here is, first off, we're going to practice light conversions, because that's something that's really kind of essential on it's very necessary for Balrog, because all of his lights can combo into specials with the exception of crouch light kick and crouch standing light kick. So his light punches can combo into various things. So basically you just have to be able to pull out light punches on the fly and be able to convert instantly into them if they hit. And this can be done on reaction. It just takes a lot of practice. So first off, what you want to do if you haven't practiced this already is just practicing doing all the light combos that you can do. So, like, practicing that. That way you kind of get a feel for what the timing is on everything. So you would want to do that like 10 times on each side. Switch sides. And that one you have to be up close. But yeah, you get the picture. And remember that crouching light punch can convert into medium punch straight, while standing light punch can only convert it into light punch straight. On top of that, what was I gonna say? You can do up to 3 lights if you're really up close, and kind of knowing what. There we go. Kind of knowing what 3 combinations you can do for lights is important too. Like, you can do crouch light punch into crouch light kick into standing light punch. It's like that. Typically when I tend to do these is I'll do a V skill first. That way you can do something like that, because the V skill will push you at full distance. So say I'm doing something like this, then I can do that, because this will catch them after the V skill if they think I'm doing an overhead. Alternatively, I can do something like this, and then, you know, go into whatever else. So it gives a 50-50 mix-up, and that's a good opportunity to do that specific one. Just for style purposes, you can do that one too. You can do this one. Yeah, I didn't think you could do that one. So yeah, you can do crouch light punch. I think that's probably the easiest to do. Yeah, that one's a little rough. Might even only be able to be done in the corner. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just timing it wrong. In any case, you don't really have to worry about that one specifically. What you do need to worry about are just being able to confirm into light punches. That way you're not losing your, your damage off of things. One thing you can do with this to confirm is buffering in neutral. So, and I've gone over this before where you're like, you're doing that. The only problem with lights in particular with buffering is that you have to do it like lightning fast. Otherwise it'll come out anyway on whiff. So you see how I'm doing it there. Another thing you can do is you can like do the actual motion, but don't actually finish it with the punch. That way, if you actually do see that you confirm, you'll have a lot less reaction time to, devote to it. So even up close you can do this, like that. So what we can do is if you set the opponent to guard random, after you've kind of gotten a feel for how all the light confirms work and everything like that, then you can start setting him to random. So you see he'll randomly start blocking. So the key is that you want to practice a situation where they could be letting go of guard at any time, so you want to be quick on the conversions on that. So with light punches, it's a little, you have to be a little quicker. But that's basically something you want to practice. So I messed that up there. So yeah, basically, you just want to practice that. I guess I can't practice that. Damn it. So yeah, you get the picture. That's something that you can kind of practice. Which I'm doing a terrible job right now. But you get the idea. Man, I'm not getting my, there we go. Not holding charge long enough, that's my problem. Usually with light confirms, you want to do like 2 of them. So like, doing 2 lights just to see that you've confirmed. I'm not getting the timing down. There we go. So basically, you want to practice. I would say like getting just 1 single light confirm off can be kind of troublesome and can be kind of hard to do off reaction. But getting like a light into another light and then canceling, that gives you a little more time. So like if you practice something like that, do that like 10 times, I can't speak right now, 10 times consistently, to where if they block the crouching light kick, then you don't go through with the screw smash. But if they do get hit by the crouching light kick, then you can go through with it like that. Another thing you can do is do EX straight. That'll pretty much make it safe no matter what. Or EX slow. EX slow will make it EX will make it -2. Yeah, -2. So that's not the best option. Another thing you can do is that. Yeah, so there you go. That's something you can practice with light confirms. So yeah, you see, I can keep the pressure going. That's obviously +1, so if he 3-framed there, he would trade, but you get the idea. Basically just practice. Based on the first hit is kind of what I do. So like you see how it hits on the second hit, you can go through with it, but it's much safer to just see if they get hit by the first one and then go with it. Otherwise you pretty much just have to commit to it and hope that it works. So that's light confirms. Like the two best ones to confirm off of are crouching light punch and crouching light kick. Standing light kick you can also kind of do. Oh, whoops. You can convert them off of that too. So just practice that and try to get consistent with it. That way in an actual match, if you do hit somebody, then you'll be quick to confirm off of it. And eventually, after practicing enough, it just becomes like second nature, and you'll just start being able to, you know, confirm off of lights on the fly. Another thing you can do to make this safe, if you just do that, V-trigger canceling after the medium kick, not the hard kick, you can confirm into something like that. If it's on hit. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, see? And that's a frame trap. So you can do something like that, and it'll do tons of damage if they hesitate after, you know, after blocking that. Yeah, that's 515 damage off of a reset. So it's a pretty good option to do. All sorts of kind of crazy mix-ups you can do. But that's basically light conversions. You just want to get used to basically using the first light to check, and then from there you can see, did it hit or did it get blocked? So from there you have enough time to react and say, oh, he blocked the first one, so I'm not going to cancel it. Or if you want to, like I said, you can just cancel into EX straight, and it'll make it safe. That way you're not risking it if you do actually want to commit to the conversion. Because oftentimes the reward can outweigh the risk with that, using the EX straight. Next, we're going to kind of go into just overall conversions from there. So, the mediums and higher are a lot easier to convert off of reaction. So if you see, you know, like I'm able to do that on reaction. Now this is a good option select too, because this is a frame trap in and of itself. And you can do something like that if you're up against a corner. I don't think. Okay, yeah, you can do that outside of that. But yeah. You see how I can, you know, do it on reaction based on if this hits. It gives you enough time to visually cue it and then react. This can also combo, I think, up close. Yeah. So you can do whichever is easier. This target combo is definitely simpler. So practice that with crouching medium punch on both sides. Again, you know, 10 times on each side without fail. And I would say practice getting the actual conversion 10 times, not just them blocking it. So like, if they block it and you cancel, then restart it anyway. But if they, like, that's one. Okay, I have to restart. Okay, that's one. Have to restart again. And restarting the count one more time. I'm not holding charge fast enough. That's the problem with kind of replicating this. You can always do something like that. So that's one. That's two. You see how I'm counting it. That's three. That's four. So you want to practice it that way until you get 10 full conversions and then switch sides. That'll really like reinforce, you know, being able to convert on the fly. In really sticky situations, it can be, you know, the whole difference between the match. So say this guy F-dashes on me out of nowhere, and I land that while I'm holding back. Let me just simulate this here. Oops. That was supposed to be an F-dash. So say he does that. If I like manage to catch him on it, I've done this before. You kind of have to preemptively. Kind of have to preemptively do it. Yeah, I'm not really at the right distance to do that, am I? Something like that, too. Just any kind of situation, you know, where they overextend. If they're pressing a bunch of buttons in neutral and you catch them on one, you know, that can make all the difference, getting that follow-up rather than just ending it in a poke and that's it. So that's kind of the point I was trying to get across there. So yeah, crouching medium punch, that's really only something you can convert right up close to them. But standing medium kick is going to be another good one. This one you can confirm a little bit farther away with standing light punch. You can also, up close, you can convert this one into standing medium punch. So I would say practice doing this into a light punch 10 times. And then practice doing it into standing medium punch 10 times. So that one. So getting that down will help greatly. What else? I guess standing hard kick is really the only other one on regular hit that you can practice. So this one. That's one thing you can practice. You can practice the, you know, standing hard kick into medium kick target combo. Practice that 10 times on both sides. The best thing about this is that this is a frame trap. So if they block the first one, you can go through with the second one. Like that. So yeah, that offers a lot of options with that. So standing medium kick and then crouching medium punch are the two you want to do. This is what you want to do: crouching medium punch at farther distances. However, at a distance like this, there's not a whole lot you can do, other than pressure them with something like that. So those are the kind of the two things you want to do after that. Another thing you can do is practice that if you really want. It's about the same reach as crouching medium punch. It's a little longer. So you can convert into something like that if you really wanted to. You can convert it into that, and then, you know, do whatever. Another thing you can try practicing is in V-trigger. Doing that on hit, but on block, not canceling into V-trigger, or I mean into V-skill. Alternatively, you can do like something like that if you want to risk it, or something like that. There's a lot of options you can do, but basically that's another thing you want to practice, is doing this into a Rekka. And remember, punch Rekkas keep them grounded, kick Rekkas put them in the air, so it just depends on what you want. I use the kick Rekkas for corner carry, and I use the punch Rekkas for pressure. So you can kind of do whichever. I'm not doing that right. Anyway, that's basically something you want to practice. There we go, that's the meaty setup. So yeah, that basically covers all of the hit confirms and conversions on kind of what you want to practice, just the initial confirms into stuff. The other thing we can practice is counter hit conversions. This is a little more extensive. You're basically, and like if you miss the counter hit, that's okay, as long as you're not like converting into the full hit. It's not a big deal if you miss the counter hit and just do the regular conversion. But you can get a lot more damage off of things if you if you set it to random counter. So every so often when I counter hit, you notice the little gold flag that shows up down there. When it doesn't show up, you just do your normal conversion. But when it does show up, you want to do the counter hit version. So like that. So basically what I'm doing when I hit is I'm looking for that little golden flag down there, and if the golden flag isn't down there, then I'll just go with it. Okay, that time that wasn't a counter hit. But you get the idea. I was able to do that pretty consistently because I've practiced this before. Stuff like that. And you can do that. So you want to start with your light conversions. So this is a frame trap in and of itself. That's why I'm doing it. But once you see that counter hit, you can do a second one into target combo. See? So that's something you can practice. And of course, like I said, you can do something like that. That wasn't real. That's another thing you can practice too, is counter hit conversion off of this. So normally, after this, you want to do standing medium punch. But if it confirms, you can do standing hard kick, or standing medium kick into hard punch straight. So see, I can do that. And that combo's not optimal in the slightest anymore, but yeah, you get the idea. And you can do a light punch too if you want. After that, it just depends on the distance. Like from this distance, that'll whiff. So standing light punch is what you want to do there. Of course, if it counter hits, then you can do crouching medium punch from that distance. So it just depends. But anyway, kind of moving into what we want to do off of counter hit. So you want to do medium kick or crouching medium punch after standing crouching light punch or crouching light kick. After standing light kick, the only thing you can follow up with is standing light punch or another light kick. So while this is a... Hold on, let me do it right. You kind of have to do that one fast. So while that one is fast, this one is a frame trap. So it's easier to, kind of pull off on reaction. But you can definitely do that. This is more against 4-framers that it would be safer to do that. But that's something you can do after crouching light kick. You can do that after light punch as well. Maybe not standing. And this is a frame trap on block too. So it's really good to kind of see where you're at on your conversions. So even if this doesn't counter hit, you can still do something like that. And against 4-framers, something like that is a full frame trap. You can even do that if you're close enough against 4-framers. Of course, if they block, it doesn't push back as much. So, anyway, so yeah, light conversions. You basically just want to keep baiting them out until the counter flag pops up, and then you can do something like that. And you want to do that 10 times to where the actual conversion goes through 10 times, and then switch sides. So yeah, that's kind of how you do that's kind of how you practice the light conversions into counter hits. Then the medium conversions are a lot easier again. Standing medium punch is something you can always practice on counter hit. On counter hit, it's +4, so you can convert into a standing light punch. This one, of course, you can convert into another. You can convert into another medium kick. But if it doesn't, you can just convert into light punch. So these ones are a lot easier to do on reaction, as you can see there. I was able to get every single one without really failing. So that's kind of something to practice. And that's how you maximize your damage in certain situations. If the opponent is pressing buttons or trying to escape or doing whatever, then on certain counter hits, you can capitalize on it. I don't know why I'm not getting that right now. There you go. I almost kind of have to mash that myself for it to actually come out half the time. The target combo. So yeah, you get the picture. This is another one. If you get the crush counter, then you can do that into whatever. You know, your typical screw smash stuff. Otherwise, then you can, you know, convert into your normal things. So that's something to practice too. And there's a lot of things you can do after this. This is kind of the more optimal one at most ranges. That is actually the strongest one that you can do, meterless. But you have to be right up close to them, like that. So you get the idea. And then this one is something you can also do. So one thing that I used to do, and you can still do it, is holding tap after hitting crouching hard punch, and then letting go of it afterward. So you see, I held tap, but then I let go. So now my buttons are free. So I hold these two buttons to tap, light punch and light kick. It's just easier for me on a fight stick. That way you can always be ready with the conversion into that combo. And the reason why you would want to ever do that version is because it's more consistent. You can do it at any range. So if I'm like at this distance, like you see, I can still get that, whereas like, see that whiffed? So that's why it can be good to do that. And then you just let go of tap if, you know. You just let go of tap if it doesn't confirm the way you want. Another reason why I do this one is because in V-Trigger, it actually gives you more than Heavy Kick Screw Smash does. So let me just show you in, if I'm V-triggered. I'm sorry. You can do something like that. That's the optimal 1 bar. However, if you try doing this, it won't work. So you can't do the optimal 2 bar conversion. You'd have to do this. Oh, my bad. You'd have to do that, which is 411. Or you could do this. That's 448. So that's the optimal 2-bar. Even though tap does less damage, you're still able to get more off of it with that if you have 2 bars in V-trigger. So that's kind of why I still will sometimes favor that. It gives you that. So anyway, that's a little straying from the conversions thing, but that's something you can practice with converting crouching hard punch into the tap if it crush counters. It's never a terrible thing to do if you're in V-trigger 1. Outside of it, it's more just consistent is all. It's sacrificing damage for consistency. And you can do medium punch straight, meterless, and it still does 235 damage. As opposed to that, which does 251. So you're sacrificing 16 damage, basically, in order to make it more consistent. So you can kind of fiddle with that and choose which one you want. On top of that, you can do this one. That's 219. So it's significantly less damage, but it's basically to build meter. Top of that, if you want to build a lot of meter and use 2 bars out of V-trigger, then that's the one you want to do. So yeah, there's different options based on kind of what you want. Yeah, I didn't think you could do that. Okay. Yeah, there's some interesting combos you can do with tap just to kind of style on people, like the one I just showed here. But we're not going to get into that because they're kind of useless unless you just want to style. And you can always practice them in training and just fiddle around with them and see what you can do. Rog's got a lot of neat little juggle combos that he's got in V-trigger 1. So yeah, that kind of covers the conversions on counter hit, like kind of what you want to do after them, and practice that 10 times. Then after that, what you want to do is set counter to random and guard to random. So what you're doing now is you're trying to reinforce both of them at the same time. So I'm not only am I looking for the counter hit, but I'm looking for just the fact that they're not blocking. So you see how they're blocking there? But now that I see that you have to kind of cross 2 checks in your mind really fast. You have to cross, are they blocking, and did the counter hit flag show up? If the counter hit flag shows up, then that's obviously when you counter hit convert. If the counter hit doesn't show up, but they're not blocking, then you do your regular hit. It sounds simple, but to do it that fast is, you see, like right there, I just kind of didn't do the counter hit conversion. Which is okay, like I said, as long as you just convert it. And I don't even have to look at my opponent. I can hear whether or not they're blocking or getting hit. It's one of those kind of things where you can use a visual cue too. I'm looking more at that corner where it shows counter hit. I messed up there. Not holding charge long enough. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. Charge long enough. Yeah, this is kind of hard to replicate with charges because, you know, I'm constantly F-dashing and then restarting it. So you might have to like wait a little bit and then do it like that. So basically you just want to keep practicing that. That's about really all I got for this lesson, honestly. It's basically pretty just simple stuff you practice over and over again. The complexity kind of comes with that. You're basically just training your mind to look for that counter hit flag. That way you can be ready for a counter hit. It doesn't always happen, but as you can see there, I can kind of train my mind to do it pretty accurately. This is another one that you can do, depending on the situation. But that combination, crouching medium punch, crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, up close, it's a block string, first of all. Second of all, depending on what happens, you can kind of convert it, you know, however you want. So there's options like that. This used to be an option. That's one that you can do though now. And see, in any real situation, you can do it if it counter hits. And you can do it if one of them hits. So I'm not even really reacting on this. I'm just kind of doing it. So yeah, there's various frame traps like that. There's various kind of, you know, little tricks that you can do to kind of make it both a frame trap and a conversion, so it's easier to do on reaction. So you can just kind of practice with that, experiment. More importantly, you just want to practice having some kind of solid plan for when they aren't blocking, you know, when they get hit. And then, of course, when they get counter hit. You always want to be looking for that flag whenever you're attacking. That's kind of the secret to converting off counter hits. So yeah, that's about what I got for this session. Next, I want to say next week, but I'm not sure. It just depends on my schedule and how I end up feeling by the time that next Friday comes around. I know the Friday after next I'm going to be moving into my apartment, so that's probably not going to be a week where I'm actually going to be doing anything with this. But next Friday I should be making another one, and it should be on specifically on Oki and meaties and all of that stuff, so it might be a long one based on that. I still haven't really decided if I want to divide it up or not. So yeah, be looking forward for the nitty-gritty of Okis and setups and all of that on Wake Up. Probably the thing that a lot of people lack most is having solid Oki options. Like they kind of just fall flat whenever somebody delay wake ups and stuff like that. So I'll cover those on a later date, probably next week. We'll see. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something from this, and be sure to let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or anything you want me to try covering that I haven't yet. Otherwise, just keep on punching dudes and stealing fight money, and hope you guys have a great day. See you later.